Ricky Flores here with Sheen Procs of the Trinity Force Network. I'm here with Kez. Just off of a victory, how do you feel off of that win? You guys are in the LCS now.
I'm really happy to finally win a relegation tournament.
Must be a great feeling. Were there any plays in this series that made you say wow or why?
The first one was when I went into Still Baron and I failed it by like 100 HP. And the second one was when I got shot by Jinx Rocket in my base, when I recall. That was really sad. Like, at first I got Ziggs ulted. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. And then I was like, okay, I'm alive. I'm gonna base. And then I based.
The sliver of health left.
Okay, actually when I recall, I was looking at my character, and then I saw Jinx Rocket fly by my side, and I was like, I'm fine. And then I recall, and then it hits me. I'm like, oh my god. We're going to lose this game.
It was ridiculous. I remember seeing that and being like, oh man, he missed. And then, just nuts. So the jungle right now, Sejuani is kind of hailed as the top pick. She's kind of the queen of the jungle. However, in the first 3 games, you picked Gragas, and you felt very comfortable on the Gragas, and that's what you wanted. Is that your top pick? Do you feel that Gragas is better than Sejuani, or do you just personally feel more comfortable on the Gragas pick?
I actually like Sejuani more than Gragas, but I think the two champions serve different purposes. Like, Sejuani is better for engage, but if you have Gragas, then you can actually disengage really well with the ulti, and you have percentage damage too, so it's really good. So if you're against Sejuani, Gragas is a really good pick.
Almost more tools for the disengage. Makes sense. The jungle meta right now, how do you feel about it? Do you enjoy it, or?
I really like it. I really enjoy it. I used to play a lot of tank junglers even before this meta. I wouldn't say I didn't like the Lee Sin, like Jarvan meta, but I kind of like the meta too, but I kind of prefer this meta more. But the only thing I'm uncomfortable about this meta is top laners taking smites and outsmiting me.
How do you feel about that in general? Like, obviously, if the other team has a Shyvana that's super fed and all that great stuff, and then she's stealing all your stuff with smites, terrible situation. But pre-game, do you feel personally that it's something you want to suggest to your top laner? Do you like the double smite, or do you not like it at all? How do you feel about it?
Actually, I like top laners having smite because, the only downside is my own teammate just takes all my jungle. But eventually he gets really big compared to no smite top laners. So I like it.
As long as the team's big, that's all that really matters. And I could definitely agree with that. So recently there's been new rules that coaches are a necessity on the teams. How's that affected your picks and bans, your team comps, or just the team in general?
Our team was actually we didn't have any analysts, or no one really helped with the picks and bans. We just figured it out by ourselves. The teammates would sit down together and talk about it. We just did that from the day one. And I guess having coaches is really nice. But if the teammates can talk together about the matches, then I think it's better.
And if you're already comfortable doing it, then it's something you're already in the groove of. Speaking of teams, you're obviously now on TDK. You used to be on Complexity. How's the different environments there? Tell me about that.
I actually expected a really different environment compared to Complexity, because this is actually the first time I've ever worked with Korean players and Korean management. But in the end, I think it's just all the same. Everyone gets frustrated. Everyone yells at each other if things don't go as planned. And
sure.
I guess it's better to speak the same language, because I'm actually more comfortable in Korean, but I can actually communicate a lot better. So in the end, I think it's just the same thing.
Just a question: when you guys communicate, is it in English generally, or generally English? Makes sense.
Actually, when we had Kyle before Alexis joined, we actually spoke more Korean, and then I was the one who had to translate all that into English to Smoothie, which was really frustrating because I had to basically say the same things twice in different language. But after Alex came in, the primary language, the communication tool was English, so it changed. But now our AD carry doesn't speak English. But Seraph can speak a little bit, but still I'm the one who has to translate everything to my AD carry. So it was frustrating again.
kind of the mediator.
Yeah.
Well, someone has to do it. I'm glad you're stepping up. So you've been in the LCS. You're heading to the LCS now. You've been in Challenger. You've been in the LCS. How are those two leagues different? We see a lot of lane swaps in the LCS and such. What are the different mentalities? How are the organizations different? Tell us about that.
I think when you're a challenger, like the word itself, challenger, you're like just like challenging everything. You want to try new stuff that works for your team. Like even if you don't see the stuff you do in LCS, like you still want to try it because you always want to do like. You might like this champion, but it's not like used in LCS, but you can still use it. Like literally top, like what Seraph does. Like no one really does it, but he still likes it and he can still pull it off. And yeah, I think that's the difference.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, Kez.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.